Uh, Welcome to Have Cheetah of You. I'm the I'm part one of the duel. I'm Patrick. The cheetah is currently on assignment. That's really code for sleeping. All right, so today we're talking about a movie from Wild Eye Releasing called The Luring. And first of all, I'd like to thank the boys from the Wild Eye crew, Rob and his friends, for hooking us up with this copy of The Luring. Um, Sometimes we are drawn to the darkness. So me and the cheetah, we watched this last night, and yeah, it's the feature debut film from a director writer named Christopher Wells, and the story is interesting. Uh, Basically, this young man is uh, named Garrett, who's played by Rick Irwin, is struggling with his memory. About 10 years old at a birthday party, there is something traumatic that happens, and his memory is shot. We don't know why or how it happens. Um, we get a hint of it in the very first scene of the movie, but I don't really want to go into that because it'll give too much of the plot away. But Rick's he lives in New York. He comes from a wealthy family, and while they're at this cottage, something traumatic has happened, and he can't remember it. He was institutionalized for about a year and a half before he came out of it. So now he's trying to trace down the memory of exactly what happened that he can't remember. So he heads up to the cottage with his girlfriend Claire, who's played by Michaela Sprague, to see if he can find out what exactly happened. And we find out that that isn't entirely the only reason why he's going up there. He has received some contact on social media from a mysterious female who has enticed him to come up to the cottage too. And we later find out that is Jennifer, played by Molly Fahey. And the part that she plays in the story is also key to the plot. We do know that Garrett is not a nice guy. We find that out pretty much the first night he's there, when Jennifer pops up to the cottage, and he goes from calling her a psycho to wanting to throw down with her that very night while his girlfriend is upstairs. So we know Garrett's not exactly a nice guy, and that's pretty much the tipping point to where the luring's going to go. It just doesn't know how it's going to get you there. Um, as Rick uh, as Rick Irwin has played Garrett really well, he he comes across definitely as passive aggressive. Um, One minute he's a nice guy, next minute he's an ass. Um, he has a good performance. I really enjoyed his role. He's definitely unlikable, which makes it better for you to root against him because you know that he's a bastard, but you don't know how much. Is he just on the surface? Does he have any humanity in him? And but it's you're watching him as you should. Michaela Sprague plays Claire, as I said. The girlfriend's very sweet. Claire's very sweet. She loves Garrett, but she's not very bright. Um, there's definitely red flags all around him. Red flags that should have had her like, oh hell no, and out the door. Probably after the first two or three incidences at the house that creeped her out. But she stays, and of course, right? Um, she stays with Wyatt, and basically, I guess she just wasn't thinking too clearly in doing that. Uh, Jennifer's probably the most interesting character. Um, Underexplored, sort of like Claire's character. They were underexplored. You don't know why Claire is so insistent on staying We don't know why Jennifer is. You don't know what she does. What she does. We do know her reason why she brings Wyatt up, but at the end, we don't understand why she does what she does. It's it's hard to explain without giving up the plot. Um, and the fourth member into this party is the stranger, and he is played by an actor I'd never heard before, um, Daniel Martin Berkey. He reminds me of. He was really good. I was going to say he reminds me of an actor who I saw in a movie called Avatar, Kelly Dayton. Um, really mysterious, real interesting, fascinating. Whenever he's on screen, you're looking at him. Um, and he plays the stranger. And his character is the one you want to know the most about, but we learn the least about. But he's cool. You don't know where he goes. He seems to be pushing Wyatt to commit murder, and on the other side of the coin, he's also trying to warn another person about their behavior habits that's going to lead them to a dark end if they don't stop. It's confusing. You don't know where he's at. Is he on the side of the angels or not? Um, so the luring, as far as the story goes, it's confusing. It's not really well defined. This is, like I said, it's Christopher Wells' debut feature film. I think a writer director, when they do their feature, if they do both, they wear both hats. I do think they struggle a lot. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody is a Liam Gavin or a Ash Clark who can write a masterpiece the first time out, and direct it. It's hard. Um, Unfortunately, the luring does have some bumps and bruises in the story, but the movie itself is magnificently filmed by Amanda Grady. She's the director of photography, photography. It's beautifully shot. Great views. The score by Al Creedon is also quite good. Um, Sets the pace for the movie. It helps it. It tries its best. Overall, I mean, there's not much gore in here at all. I mean, there's a couple of scenes that might be sort of disturbing, but as far as the gore goes, it's not there. It's more implied. Um, so it's more suspense. If anything else, I wouldn't call this necessarily a horror film. It does have supernatural elements to it, but those elements are not really explained. Um, some folks may look at it and instantly think of it for a key prop, but don't be misled by that. It's not anything like that. Um, so all in all, did we like the luring? Um, yeah, I like the performances. I guess I wish the script had developed a little bit better. Um, but otherwise, that I mean, for a first time out, um, he definitely shows promise. The character of the stranger, honestly, if it had been handled a little bit more in depth, definitely could have launched something there. If you wanted to launch a franchise based on his character alone, you could have, because his character was really interesting. Uh, as far as you pick this the luring up, you can go to the website, Wild Eye. I'll be leaving that in the description, and I'll be throwing some other thoughts on this on the blog. Once I post it, I will share it. Um, so yeah, that's the luring from Wild Eye, and we will talk at you soon. So the mascot here saying thanks for showing up, and until then, peace.